Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akhil from our mortgage broker. I hope you're doing very well. Today, I'm joined by Rakesh Dua, chartered and certified accountancy firm called Dua & Co. Rakesh, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure. Good to chat with you and also talk about the unprecedented times we're in, and all the small businesses need a lot of support right now.
No, I totally agree. And Rakesh, you've been in the game for quite some time now and helping clients, businesses, basically being business advisors, tax advisors, and their accountants. So before we deep dive into the pandemic and the unprecedented times that we're in at the moment, tell us a bit about yourself and how you came into accountancy and a bit of background about your business, Dua & Co, please.
Okay, well, got into accountancy because it was a degree that I did, and after working for sort of top 20, top 30 firms, decided I want to set up on my own after a stint at a smaller firm. And we've been running for over 20 years and have a good reputation. I built the practice from scratch, and I think we have over 500 clients, ranging from tribal art experts. Everyone has a love of property, trading businesses, international businesses. So that's how I came into it and how I've grown the business. We're a team of now 14 people.
Right, okay. And the types of services that you offer, so there's numerous accountancy firms out there, and they all do different things, but what would you say are your top three core and pivotal parts that you provide to your clients?
I think number one is that by also buying and selling a number of businesses and doing property myself, I think genuinely experience. I think that's really important. I think the second thing is depth. So we have 14 people. We're a good size to actually deal with the issues and support the clients. Yet thirdly, most importantly, small enough to care and actually home in on what they want and spend time with them and support them.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think you've hit three great nuggets there, but I think the last one is really, really imperative. And as small businesses like you and like we take pride in what we do, right? So we go beyond, above and beyond just providing that service. It's all about that relationship, I say. So no, I'm a big fan of that last point there. So we talked about these unprecedented times, and I'm tired of that word now, but we live in these times. It's interesting times, but rather than people sitting on their hands and sobbing away, what are you doing, and how are you advising your clients coming out of this COVID into what should they be doing, and how should they be potentially re-looking at their business models going out of this pandemic?
Okay, it's a very good question, and obviously it does require thought. I think every business, first of all, has to look at their situation. So we've got case studies of clients that are cocooning, which eventually means that actually they're hibernating, just doing nothing 3 months, winding down their costs and just sitting it out because they're in the business. For example, there could be dentists or aesthetic clinics where actually they cannot operate physically. We've got clients that have moved to changing and adapting their business model. So restaurants, takeaways, becoming takeaways, other people turning around and doing coaching, which they used to do face-to-face, and now producing online modules and videos, and they've had success. I think thirdly, there are online businesses and people that provide or do work on the internet and traffic who actually have seen, boosts of growth as people are sitting at home and spending most of their time on the internet. So first is to understand your business and understand the model. I think second is to be absolutely empathetic if you have with staff. They're also going through things. They're also worried. That communication and giving that empathy needs to stretch to everybody, whether your suppliers, whether it's friends, contacts, whether it's most importantly your customers, and communicating with them what you're doing. Are you open for business? What are you doing in the meanwhile? What can they come back to you? How to support them? And you obviously have to look at what financial and tax assistance is out there, and a number of government schemes, tax deferrals, to make sure that you're actually planning and taking advantage of anything. And remember, you have to keep on top of that, because every few days there's tweaks or new schemes or whatever. So you need to work with your accountant, yourself, your trusted advisor, and get that information. And the biggest effect it's having is on cash flow, because even if you did a furlough in March, you're only making the claims now. So you have to look at your cash flow, how you're going to manage, preserve cash flow, look at what's core. And as we're coming out of it, to be honest, Akhil, what will end up happening is you'll end up forming a plan. And the plan could be different for every type of business. You could be in the travel business, which may take longer to come out, and therefore adapt your model. You could be in the business where actually you're open as soon as the lockdown stops. So you need to have a short midterm plan. In the longer term, you really need to focus on what has this meant for your business? What has it meant for you? So let's start with your business. You know, are you still going to have those fancy swanky offices? Do you need all that space? Do, you know, clients now, staff working from home? Are clients using Zoom? You know, how can you communicate with people? Will the attitude and behavior towards flexible working, remote working change? Will you adapt your business model to not have so many costs wrapped around you? Can you become agile? I could carry on probably for a long time. The main thing is probably drive an action plan and a strategic plan and buy your people and your stakeholders into it. And most importantly, what is it that you value? We all know somebody's been affected. We all know that health is most important now. So yeah, how have you as a business leader been affected? And, you know, bring that into an integrated approach with your business.
No, I really love that, Rakesh. You've really summed it up, and it's very powerful. I think it's quite simple, but some people don't put it into simple terms as that. And I think it's key that we all work in collectively and we take up the right advice wherever you are in the journey, whether you are employed, whether you are self-employed. We're all in this together. But the beauty is we live in a generation now that we've got access to great tools, so albeit via online. So we're zooming away currently. We've all got access to the right tools around us and the right professional advisors like you and I, right? So it's imperative that whether we're in a pandemic or not, I think coming out of this we will see a new norm coming out of it. And I think it's only a matter of time that people don't sit on the fence anymore. And those of those viewers potentially that were thinking about either going self-employed or taking the extra leap or growing their businesses, for example, will do that. I think now's the right time when people are sitting at home through this lockdown, is to speak to people like yourself, because you help structure business finance, takeovers, and buying and trading businesses, right?
Yeah, and I think also, you know, and I think it's important to a lot of your audience, is, you know, there are opportunities out there. There are opportunities to maybe acquire businesses that haven't. So there may be an opportunity to acquire talent. There may be an opportunity to look at property as it comes back. And we're seeing an increasing number of our clients ask us, you know, is it a good time to buy again? Obviously, that depends on people's individual situations, how deep they think it's a V, or do they think it's a W, double dip. So I think at the end of the day, you know, and also maybe should I have all my, you know, eggs in one basket? So I think there's a lot of challenging questions, and you can utilize your time if you're not working in the business, maybe working on the business, and maybe also getting, you know, spending love time with relationships and other people within your family that give you calmer times to think through, what is it I want? What does my business need? And either you come out adventurous and want to grow, or you come out taking stock, or you will come out saying, no, I've got some real challenges here. We need to rethink things, or I need to work with other people or do joint ventures again, which is going to be very popular in property as a way to try and make things happen. So I think whatever it is, the idea is you need to spend time, plan, and plan for what you're going to do.
Yeah, no, I really love that, Rakesh. And I'm having the same conversations with my clients, right? They're asking, are banks still lending? And my short answer is yes. It depends on the purchase, the loan to value and your credit profile, but banks are lending. Have we hit rock bottom of the property market? Well, you know, who knows? As you said, are we in a U, V, or a W? You know what? We'll never know until the time comes. But what I would say is to our clients, and what I do, I promote is, have that conversation with those vendors, because you don't know what their motivations are, right? So if somebody's selling something for £500,000, put in a cheeky offer, because you don't know how cheeky it is and you don't know what the motivations are on the other end. And that's what we do as advisors at our mortgage broker. We think of ourselves as more of a concierge service, right? So it's like staying at the Four Seasons in the Maldives, for example. You're going to have a 5-star service and you're going to have a great hotel, but then you've got the great amenities within that business. And that's what we as advocates share. And we've got a great power team within the business. So we've got planning consultants, chartered surveyors, accountants, architects, and so on. So we class ourselves as a concierge service, and it's not just finance that we can deliver, but we can add value to that client and refer them to our trusted, liked, and known people. So no, you're right there. So what's your, if you had a crystal ball, when do you think we're going to come out of this pandemic? And where do you think clients, especially in the property space, should be paying more attention? Do you believe it's residential or commercial?
Okay, I think right now, how long does it take? I don't have crystal ball. I think that would be a very good bet or a spread bet if I could even predict it. I think we will see an easing down probably, end May, early June. I think businesses, again, different sectors will be affected of when they can fully come back to even some sort of normality, if that's a word we're allowed to use anymore. But I think what we're going to have to say is that probably until the vaccine comes out and until it goes away, it's going to affect certain industries and businesses. So we're probably going to see the economic effect for probably 6 to 9 months, which is huge for the small business sector. That's why they've got to say, have I got a war chest? Have I taken advantage of the government schemes? Will I survive? And that's why it's important to do cash flow and financial modelling. So my idea is that don't do your modelling for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Model maybe for different variations where we're telling clients, maybe 100% effective for 3 months, then 75%, 50%, and then come out. And I think you've got to use your own percentages. And I think for the property sector, my advice would be very simple, is property is a great asset class. Everybody's in it. It's worth trillions upon trillions in this country. Rates have become low again. And again, it's going to be going back to the horrible thing, or the thing that everybody does, accountants love, is numbers, numbers, numbers. Does it stack up? Is there the demand and supply? Can you get change of use? So I think all sectors of property can do well, other than obviously I think the retail sector, yes, there's questions around that. How will it affect? How will it adapt? The office sector, will that much office space be needed? Residential, probably location.
Yeah, no, I like that. Thank you for that summary there. Anything you want to leave us with, Rakesh? I will leave Rakesh's details below in the comments box. But Rakesh, anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is we're all in it together. You're not alone. And I think a lot of people are going through physical and mental things, or getting frustrated. And I think you've got to understand business does have challenges. And I promise you, this won't be the first or last for you. Maybe you won't be as deep as this. So it's probably a good time to learn how good your skills are of coping and being resilient. And the last thing is spend time with your loved ones, stay home, keep our NHS safe.
No, I like that. Thank you for joining me, Rakesh. And what more information about the services that Doing Co offer, as I said, I will leave Rakesh's details below. So whether you are looking for accountancy advice or business advice, please do contact Rakesh. Thank you for joining Akhil again at our mortgage broker. And likewise, if we can help with any mortgages or property finance, we'll be delighted to hear from you. Until next time, all the best.